What's up guys, this is Sean and welcome back to the iherng podcast, and today we will answer a question from email. This is from YG. Hi iherng, hope you're doing well. I'm currently evaluating a potential investment property and would like to seek your expert opinion to ensure it aligns with my long-term financial goal, eventually offsetting all of my monthly commitments through property income. Below is a full summary of my current financial position and property portfolio. So YG here lists out everything. So the first one is the amount of property. Got 3. One low-cost flat under the own name, one apartment, another low-cost flat which is helping the father to pay. If you're watching this on YouTube, I put in a table. So what I like also, YG included the monthly installment and the monthly rent. So for his own low-cost flat, he rent out 750, where the monthly installment is 539. So got positive cash flow. For the apartment, his monthly installment is 2,004 and the monthly rental is 3,005. So positive 1,000. Wow. Then his father's one, too bad. The monthly is 1,380, but every month the rent is only 800, so he'll lose some money. So total cash flow is positive 700 ringgit. So with the other monthly commitments, which is his own landed house, that is about 3,300. Then the car loan is about 1,005. The monthly support to the parents is at 1,000. Then the shortfall for dad's flat, which is 580 just now. So his monthly repayment is about 6,004, but after offsetting the rental, it's about 5,006 per month. Then for YG, he's 27. His cash on hand is 300,000. Annual net commission or income, which is 300,000 as well. Getting married next year, aggressively expanding property investment now because I worry I may not be able to consistently generate high income in the future. I hope to lock in long-term passive income while I am still financially strong. So now he is considering this new property. The property price is about 520,000. Bank valuation is 480 only. The loan is 70% of the bank valuation, so it's 336,000. Down payment, then it results in 184,000. So estimated legal and miscellaneous fee is about 30,000. Total cash outlay for the property just for ownership is 214,000. Expected rental is about 3,200 per month, dual key unit. So one unit can rent out 1,006. Estimated cash flow is about 1,005 per month, which is about 7.3% in ROI. It's next to Aeon Mall, strong leasing demand due to surrounding commercial activities. The main reason for low valuation is because it's a new project and limited transacted data so far. So the question is, number 1, is this purchase still a good move considering my commitments and marriage plan? Number 2, with 214,000 cash required upfront, is this the smartest step towards my passive income objective? Number 3, any financial risk aspects I should consider before proceeding? Thanks a lot for taking the time to review this. I really appreciate your guidance in helping me clarify whether this investment supports my long-term financial stability and goals. YG. So thank you very much YG for sending in. This is a very clear email, especially with all the numbers and graph, which is how I like it. So basically YG here is trying to build up his property portfolio and his cash flow, and the urgency here is because he's a commission earner and not every year good sales one but we'll talk about that later. He's also getting married, so how lah? First comment, congratulations on your journey so far. So for your low-cost flat, you're making money. Your apartment, you're making better money. And this indicates one thing. We discussed this a lot in the channel, and I realized that every one of us is different. We have different moral compass. It really depends on yourself on whether low cost is suitable for investment or not. A lot of people like it because the amount of yield is very, very high. Plus, the entry price is very, very low. Especially when you're starting off in your investment journey, it's the lowest hanging fruit to take. That's why people like it. But here, it indicates that a normal apartment, a free market apartment, tend to always generate better returns in your cash flow and better returns in your capital appreciation. Because ultimately, low-cost flat, there will be a ceiling to the selling price later, and it's heavily determined by the rental rates. So I'm not here to judge whether is this a right move or not, which highlights the next thing. For your father's unit, right, even if it's a low cost flat, the rental still cannot cover, right? From an investment point of view, that's rather terrible. But I don't know whether these flats were purchased with the intention to stay last time and it just hold on until today. I'm not too sure. But from an investment point of view, if you buy rumah WIP, if you buy rumah Selangorku, and if you buy affordable home and you still lose money as an investor, your skill set seriously needs some improvement. So for YG here, he's 27, earning 300,000 ringgit per year, and cash on hand is 300,000. Every month he is spending about 5,700 in total. So the car is 1,500, own house is about 3,200. Wow, 8 to 900,000 ringgit house. Solid at this young age, right? Congratulations, you're doing well. Here then, let's discuss about the sense of urgency. The main reason why you're pushing for purchases now is because the bank still look at your annual income, and this year you made good money. That's why you want to fully leverage on this opportunity to take more loans so you can roll your money. I understand that. But why wouldn't the next year or the following years be the same? This is something I learned back when I was in my sales job also. The only reason why we are not confident in our future income is because we are not putting in consistent work annually, monthly, or daily. Especially for commission earners, the entire financial planning mindset should be a little bit more different. So a lot of people cannot earn such money because they chose security, right? They rather have every month 10,000 than 1 year 300,000. A lot of people cannot take that uncertainty. That's why salespeople tend to have higher income annually. But the setback is this: even if you earn higher annually, you do not have the confidence to spend also, because you are not sure whether next year can make the same or not. So for YG, this particular property is about 520,000 and the bank valuation is only 480,000. And because this is more than his third property already, so he's taking loan at 336,000. So the total down payment plus legal fee is about 214,000. We haven't even include the renovation yet, which is about, I assume, 50,000. So it's about 260,000. So the argument is this: you are using 260,000 to pay for a 520,000 property, and because you take loan that is way lower, as a result you got cash flow at 1,500. So the argument for calculation is always this. A lot of people would think that, hey, I don't want to pay interest because they charge me 4%. By the end of 35 years, I'm paying about double of the property. So might as well I just don't take loan. I will just pay full, and the entire rental returns will be my income net. So it feels good. So the common mistake here is always on the yield portion. If you were just think about positive and negative cash flow, right, that's not the right indicator to look at, because if you are young, if you still can enjoy 35 or 40 years loan tenure, then no matter what property you buy, also positive one, right? So it's very easier to buy a property that gives you positive cash flow. But if you are maybe buying at the age of 45 to 50, it's way harder. So in that context, that's why I really like how YG is thinking right now, because he also provides an ROI that is about 7.3%. So here, what's the right ROI to look at? Every 100,000, your monthly installment for the next 35 years at 4% is about 450. So it also means that 5.4% is the good break-even point. So you still want to include your maintenance fee, you want to include your cukai tanah lah, cukai pintu lah, cukai sendiri lah, cukai income lah, whatever, right? Then you need about 6%, and that is why 6% becomes the norm. Also in comparative to the FD rates, to the EPF rate, and etc. So a yield of 7.3% here, not too bad, man. And here he highlighted one thing. For new property, so he's buying a sub-sale right now. This is a brand new completed project, and the norm for a lot of properties around the city area, when the project just got VP'd and hand over, the price that you get from the valuation report tends to be lower than the asking price one. That's mainly for a few reasons which he mentioned. So there's limited transacted data. This I learned from my Singaporean friends. So if you have a project that is very, very low in density in Singapore, the value couldn't go up that high because you don't have enough transacted data. Because when will people want to sell? When they make money, and usually they will also sell higher. So indirectly, the higher number of transactions, usually the price for valuation fetch will tend to be higher as well. But in Malaysia here, we think very different. High density means bad. Then also, if you sign your SPA at 500,000 for example, now we all know developer give 10% discount lah, plus 2, plus 3 if you sign early bird or whatsoever lah. Now the creativity around marketing package is awesome, but banks also know. So when you buy the property at 500,000, you take 500,000 loan, right? Not necessarily the price is actually 500,000. That is why the property price that YG is looking at 520, bank valuation only 480. So the first question, is this purchase a good move? Based on numbers, at an ROI at 7.3%, I think it's a solid buy. And it's a dual key unit which is tapping into this brand new trend that we are observing within the market, like co-living rates. Right now, it's very, very popular within the middle range product. So anything about 400,000 to 700 over thousand, right? If you rent out the whole unit, it tends to be very, very costly. What makes this question tricky then, considering your commitment and marriage plan? Question: you are getting married next year. How much you want to spend for marriage? You got a house already, so maybe ceremony at here, at there, right? It's about 50, 100,000. And with the cash on hand that you have, which is 300,000 right now, you put out 214,000 just to own the property. Then you take out another 50,000 for renovation. So let's imagine you bought the property, you paid this amount of money, now left 30,000. Your money commitment is about 5,700. Let's assume you spend 2,000 makan minum lah, right? Which is about 8,000. How long can you spend without any income? Because you are a commission earner, so I don't know whether you got basic salary or not. I don't think so. And how comfortable are you in that situation? That will be the conversation that you need to have with yourself. Again, now you got 300,000 in cash. You spend 260,000 to buy a property, okay? Which left 40,000. Every month you spend about 8,000, which allows you to hold for about 6 months time. Then now you want to get married, which you will need about 100,000. Do you think it's enough? So by asking this question, you will understand yourself better as a person as well. So are you a fighter type, where you, I not enough money already, I gotta work way harder, I gotta look for ways to make more money, and my goal now is to replenish back my savings to 300,000 in 6 months time. This is my action plan, right? That is one type of people. Another type of people, panic, cannot sleep already. Oh, I got not enough money, I got not enough money. And when you have 4 properties, right, cash is cash, asset is asset. The worst thing of a property, it is not liquid. Like if you need money today, gone. Refinancing, 6 months time. To sell, about 9 months before you get the money transferred into your bank account. Always remember that. Yes, you are young, you are 27 years old, which is awesome. So in that sense, the general answer, if I'm in your position, no. No, I don't think the purchase is a good move. It's not so much of the property, is you are not ready at this current junction. If you got no properties and you still got your 90%, then I think it's a good idea lah, right? Buy, straight away buy. Don't need to ask me also, buy, right? But now you already got 1 property for own stay, 1 for investment, 1 low cost, and 1 your father one. You got 4 already. What's the rush? Why must die put another one, right? So you feel, so now barely you are breathing like that, you know. The water level is at your mouth, then like, you can breathe, right? But why must you push yourself to the edge or even push yourself further, which I always do myself lah, because I understand myself, my work ethics, my working attitude. I will chong better under stress. But holding under stress also not healthy lah. And this leads to the second question. With 214,000 cash required upfront, is this the smartest step towards my passive income objective? Not really. So the current investment strategy that I'm applying to my own portfolio is this. What's required is the emergency fund. So if you're single, 6 months emergency fund will be sufficient. So let's say if your boss fires you tomorrow, how long can you survive with all the commitments on hand based on your savings alone? 6 months. Why? It gives you enough time to write resume, maybe even go traveling a little bit. If you got enough lah, then if you're confident, you have that skill set that every company wants, then no issue. I'm pretty confident I can get hired in the next month. Then you don't need as much. This is something I learned personally after having families, after having a portfolio. The risk tolerance kind of changed. Whether the investment make money or lose money, right? That usually won't kill you as an investor. What kills investor or businesses, right, is the lack of cash flow. For example, now if you buy the property, cash flow wise you are making money, right? 7% solid every month, 1,500. But what if sales is terrible for the next 6 months and your future wife is really pissed off with the lack of preparation for the marriage? Yes, technically the apartment is making money, 1,000 positive. This one, another apartment, 1,500. Tak mungkin you want to sell the house, you want to sell the low cost no taker. Then how? Even if you sign the SPA today, you will need 7 to 9 months time before you get the money transferred to your account. This explains the strategy of us buying property using as little capital as possible. And we invest the capital we have into investments that requires the capital. For example, I buy all my property, I maximize my loan to the very top. I maximize my loan to buy properties. Right? Here with the money I have after allocating my savings, I give myself 1 solid year of emergency fund, and that includes 6 months of installment amount for each and every property. Then in the balance, I invest in stocks and crypto. So for a younger person who prioritizes flexibility all this while, they might choose stocks, they might choose index fund, they might choose crypto. Then they will reach a stage where it's about 28 to 30 years old and sort of need a house, then get a property, take a loan for the property. When you think about it, right, 4% interest. What's your estimated inflation rate? Because inflation rate might affect different people differently. If you travel overseas, especially to Singapore a lot, your perception towards inflation rate is crazy. If it's not too sure, if you think like the formal answer by the Malaysian government is about 2%, 1 point something percent, right? You think so? The Kopi O index also shows otherwise already. Last year tapping 240, now it's already 340, right? After establishing your inflation rate, suddenly that 4% interest justifies itself. Yes, after 30 years, you will pay double. But for an investment property, it doesn't matter, not you pay also. Therefore, within this investment strategy, right, to fully pay a property for investment is a rather foolish move actually. Because a better way to do it is to use your credit, qualify for a loan, pay 10% or 18% to get the property. If you buy new, you don't even need money. If you buy via bulk purchase, you even get cash back some more. So you own the property using credit, then the amount of cash that you have to buy the property, you can just put into FD, you can put into KWSP, put into ASB, whatever that is stable. Then in accordance to your risk appetite, you do whatever you want with it. And as you age, now you are 27, you won't really understand this yet, but as you age, I realize how fragile life could be. All it takes is one bad decision, one accident, touch wood. We might lose our job tomorrow, our career tomorrow, family members get into emergency tomorrow. And in those situations, what's the most important? Cash or insurance, of course. That's why I always insist also for those who invest in property, please include MLTA or MRTA or life insurance to cover. Please be responsible with our commitments. So for your question 2, is that 214,000 cash the smartest step towards a passive income? I don't think so. I always believe the goal of investment is to enhance our lifestyle, is to free up our time so we can spend time doing whatever we like with the people we love. So if you're getting married next year, how about this? This 200,000 park into an FD or park into KWSP or any of your investment choice, right? Assume that this money is gone to trigger your fighting spirit in your sales job and work as hard as you can. Then if next year you get another 300,000 income, then come back to the market and buy again. To me, let's not be too FOMO about property deals. I always believe regardless of whatever time, it's always a good time to buy, it's always a good time to sell. It just needs the skill set to look for opportunities only. At the same time then, go enjoy the entire process of getting married. Go experience life a little bit more. For me, I kind of rushed my way through because I'm in a very different circumstance. I got no money. Now you got money. but you want more. You get what I mean? It's not like you don't have at all. Now you got already 4 properties, you got 300,000, but you still want more, which is an excellent thing. All I'm saying is just take a pause, put somewhere first, see first, experience life a little bit. The deal is not going nowhere, you are not losing money. And with the skill sets that you have developed all this while, your eye is already trained to spot opportunities. So don't worry, you're 27, bro. And that kind of explains your question 3, like any financial risk aspect I should reconsider before proceeding. It's all about risk tolerance. That the fact that you're trying to rush this because you are not certain about your income next year to qualify for the loan means you are not ready. You get what I mean? You are not certain of your income, then how are you going to sustain your life moving forward? Reading your email also, like your parents are already dependent on you. Your father's flat also you pay one. Your lifestyle also you got to pay them also, which is awesome. To me, I think you're rushing it. Instead, this may sound a very curveball answer. I think you're spending too much money. Your money commitment just to survive is 8,000, bro. At 27. At 300,000 income, you totally deserve it. And with the 300,000 saving, you feel absolutely secure. You got a lot of buffer. That's why you got no sense of anxiety. That's why the question is, why would you want to put yourself in one anxiety position? Imagine your bank now left with 50,000. Now live life. That would be my recommended thing to do because you're already simulating the scenario of buying that property. On another note, this also highlights the market right now. For everybody who keeps complaining property tak boleh, Malaysia property kind of suck, right? All property overpriced, right? Mainly they are looking at new projects. Right? New projects will already include inflation, will already include all the risks, especially after MCO. Everybody saw how developers bankrupt, main contractor bankrupt, cannot complete the work and things like that, right? Because of that, everybody is pricing in all the risks of inflation. Then with Trump tariff, then with the global economic condition right now, everybody is just pricing in just to ensure that the project can be completed. That's all. Because of that, the price naturally will be high. If you go into sub-sale right now, a lot of opportunities. And technically, if you pay 20 to 30% down payment, most of the project within strategic locations, right, all give you positive cash flow. And guess what? That's the international norm for a good property. The international norm for down payment is about 25 to 30%. In China, it's about 50%. Only in Malaysia, our definition of a good property for investment is different. If you want zero booking fee, after I sign the loan, I must have orange juice, must have free gift. Then when I VP the project, it must be fully furnished. Then I got cashback some more. Then it must already have a rent that cover installment. Only we considered a not bad property because break even not enough, cover more than my maintenance and etc. That's how lucky we are as Malaysians. So thank you very much YG for sharing this. Just also before I forget, if you have about 1 million in your bank account, you want to use 260,000 to own and furnish the investment and get it rolling, right? Then I would suggest to go ahead. But just that in this current situation, with 300 saving, you're spending 260 on a property. I don't agree lah. Why put yourself in such a situation? This is a conversation about already being in a very solid, good financial position, but still wanting more. Okay, but wanting more always comes with a risk. Does this return justifies the risk? I've been in this position before, and I must say, go experience life a little bit more, have a little bit more patience. Like just now, as we discussed, put aside that 200,000 into something else. Don't touch it. Anggap you buy the property already and see how you react to it. Suddenly, your hands will be very tight. Will you be panic looking into your bank account with 30,000 left only, while you spend about 8,000 a month? See how you behave in such stressful manner. Then it's a good opportunity to gauge whether you can move forward with this kind of decisions in the future. The worst thing is to have FOMO, worry that this kind of opportunity is once in a lifetime. My income can support now, my loan can support now, must buy now. But you also want to get married now also, ma. So chill, okay? Let's not fall into that trap. You are no longer in a position where you got nothing to lose. Now you got. And I guess that's all for today, okay? Thank you very much again. For anyone with questions around real estate and property, you guys can email me at taniherng@gmail.com, or you can just DM me on Instagram, iherng, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Ciao.